We invite you to watch how we clear the views on all matters through our partner station MITV on DSTV channel 255, 7 p.m. daily, and also our YouTube and Facebook pages under one name, Clearview News Desk every day. We call it The People's News, as we are available to come over and cover your events upon notice. Or do you have news you want us to broadcast? Send it in. We verify and go to town with it. All for you. Go ahead, engage us to thrash out those naughty issues on the news. And what we need from you is to share and subscribe. More important, convince your loved ones, friends, relatives, co-worshippers, and more to subscribe so as to be getting notifications as we break the news. Go a step further, like the news, and drop your thoughts on the comment section. Clearview News. We clear the view one time and for all time.
Hello and welcome to Clearview News Desk. We are reaching you live from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. First, the headlines. Major General Olufemi Olatobosun Oluyede officially assumes duties as Acting Chief of Army Staff. EFCC rearrests Idris Okuneye, popularly known as Bobrisky, over bribery allegation in Lagos. Minor protest suspects faint in court during arraignment. I'm Gloria Atta with these and more. Welcome. Major General Olufemi Olatobosun Oluyede has officially assumed duties as the Acting Chief of Army Staff following a formal takeover ceremony held earlier today at the Defense Headquarters in Abuja. This development follows his appointment by President Bola Tinubu on Wednesday, 30th October 2024, pending the return of the indisposed substantive Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja. Speaking at the signing of the taking over notes, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, said the move became imperative due to the continued absence of the COAS, Lieutenant General Lagbaja, who is presently on a medical leave. He added that the selection was based on his track record of professionalism, discipline, and competence over the years.
I'm sure we're all aware that the event today is something that is new. That's never happened in the history of the armed forces of Nigeria. But as human beings, we know situations will always present itself, and what is done with the situation is what makes the difference. Our brother and our friend, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, went on his leave and went for his medical checkup and had reasons to stay behind to continue to do his medical checkup. It is our prayers that he will get better, fit enough to resume back as the Chief of Army Staff. In the interim, based on the powers conferred on the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, he has decided and directed and appointed an acting Chief of Army Staff with the full powers and responsibilities of the Chief of Army Staff until the President decides otherwise. So for us, as professionals, we are to continue with our task ahead. No gap to be left based on the challenges we have in the country. And it's in the wisdom of the President and Commander-in-Chief that today we present the authority to the Acting Chief of Army Staff for him to have full control and command of the Nigerian Army. Permit me to just go through a few words here. Reference A, which is the Presidential Directive by the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria on 30th October 2024. Reference A conveyed the appointment of Major General O. Oluwede as the Acting Chief of Army Staff by the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, on 30th August 2024. The President, Commander-in-Chief directed that Major General Oluwede will act in position of the Chief of Army Staff pending the return of the undisposed substantive Chief of Army Staff. This is in line with the provisions enshrined in the Armed Forces Act, Cap A20, the laws of the Federation 2004, Part 7, Administration, Government and Command, Section 18, 1 to 4, Appointment of Service Chiefs, etc. Section 19, Powers of Command of Members of Cooperating Services, and Section 22, 1, which states as follows. Part 7, Section 18, 1 to 4, Administration, Government and Command, Appointment of Service Chiefs, etc. 1. The President may, after consultation with the Chief of Defense Staff and subject to confirmation by the National Assembly, and appoint such officers in this act referred to as the service chiefs, as it thinks fit, in whom the command of the Army, Navy, and Air Force, as the case may be, and their reserves shall be vested. The service chief shall be known in the case of the Nigerian Army as the Chief of Army Staff, in the case of the Nigerian Navy as the Chief of Naval Staff, in the case of the Air Force as the Chief of Air Staff, subject to the terms of appointment of the service chiefs, and to such directions as to the operational use of Army, Navy, and Air Force as may be given under Section 8 of this Act. The service chiefs shall have the command, direction, and general superintendent of the Army, Navy, and Air Force respectively, and their reserves. The President may, before consulting with the Chief of Defense Staff, consult with the Forces Council, but the question as to whether any consultation was held or what happened in the course of consultation shall not be inquired into. Section 19, Powers of Command of Members of Cooperating Services. Insofar as the power of command depends on ranking, a member of the Army, Navy, Air Force, or any of the military unit who is acting together with any of the services jointly or severally, either with or without his unit or any part thereof, shall have the like powers as a member of the corresponding rank of the respective service. And for purposes of an act or a mission relating to insubordination and like offense, that member shall be treated as if he were a member of the corresponding rank of the respective services. Section 22, Regulation as to command. The President may make regulations as to the person in whom command over the establishment and unit or any member thereof is vested, as to the circumstance in which command as aforesaid is to be exercised, and without prejudice to the generality of the foregoing, may in such regulations provide for the duties, functions, and powers of command and staff of the armed forces. The aim is to note, this is a charge, responsibilities of the Chief of Army Staff. By this appointment, the responsibility of administering the Nigerian Army now rests on you. Your responsibilities are wide and varied, cannot be covered in this administrative note. This note is only an administrative procedure to formally usher you into your new responsibility and to guide you to immediately continue in administering the affairs of the Nigerian Army. It is expected that at the end of this formal event, you will be briefed extensively by the Chief of Policy and Plans Army and other principal staff officers at Army headquarters in the course of your duty. Accordingly, you are to note that your selection was based on your vast knowledge of military leadership at all levels, character, and competence. You are a member of a larger team of professional soldiers who are saddled with the responsibility of defending the territorial integrity of the Federal Republic of Nigeria by land, sea, and air as captured in our Constitution. It is therefore expected of you to consolidate and improve on the course of the substantive Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General T. Lagbaja, as well as past Chief of Army Staff, in order to sustain the high level of professionalism, discipline, resilience, and regimentation that the Nigerian Army is known for all over the world. While I congratulate you on your appointment, I implore you not to rest on your oars in ensuring that you justify the confidence reposed on you by the President, Commander-in-Chief. Congratulations once again, and God bless.
In his remarks, Major General Oluyede, while thanking the President for the opportunity, promised to consolidate the efforts of Lieutenant General Lagbaja in addressing the security challenges facing the country, while calling on Nigerians to pray for the safe return of the indisposed Army Chief.
I wish to thank God for the privilege to be here today. I also want to thank Mr. President for finding me worthy to discharge this responsibility as the Acting Chief of Army Staff in this particular, peculiar, and sober situation we find ourselves as a nation and an army. As highlighted by the Presidency in the announcement, my appointment as Acting Chief of Army Staff is simply to hold sway while Lieutenant General T. Lagbaja, my Chief of Army Staff, is a way to enable him to take sufficient time to get necessary medical attention and recuperate. And that I intend to do with the whole of my heart and loyalty to the Constitution, as well as Mr. President, and by extension to my leader, Mr. General T. Lagbaja, that I have been mandated to stand in for. As we journey through this unique period, I request that we all continue to pray for General Lagbaja's speedy recovery and safe return to complete the excellent job he has started. Furthermore, I seek everyone's support and cooperation so that we can succeed together in stemming all forms of insecurity currently being witnessed across the country and return this our beautiful country to the land of peace and economic prosperity. Long live the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Long live the Nigerian Army.
Until his appointment, Oluyede served as the 56th commander of the Elite Infantry Corps of the Nigerian Army based in Jaji, Kaduna. The 56-year-old Oluyede and Lagbaja were coursemates and members of the 39th regular course of the Nigerian Defense Academy. The Nigeria Police Command in Ebonyi has announced the arrest of no fewer than 177 suspected criminals for various offences in October 2024. The command noted that 4 of the 177 suspects were alleged to be involved in human organ harvesting and ritual killings. The Police Public Relations Officer of the command, DSP Joshua Okandu, disclosed this at a news conference in Abakaliki this Friday. Okandu explained that officers of the command arrested a total of 177 suspects, including 162 males and 15 females. According to Okandu, 92 suspects among them have been charged to court, while others will be arraigned once investigations are complete. He further reinstated the command's relentless efforts to combat crime and ensure a safe and prosperous environment for socio-economic growth in the state. Still talking security, some suspects brought before Justice Obiora Egwatu of the Federal High Court in Abuja by the Nigerian Police Force for arraignment fainted. The suspects, 75 in number, between the ages of 12 and 15, are being charged with 10 counts of terrorism, an attempt to overthrow the government, and alleged mutiny over their participation in the nationwide protests. They were allegedly arrested on August 3rd and had since been in detention before today. The case before the court was for arraignment and plea when some of the suspects fainted, which made Justice Egwatu rise abruptly. Meanwhile, 67 out of the 76 minors were granted bail to the tune of 10 million naira each.
The judge had to leave. How can somebody stop this? The judge is going to punishment. This is what Nigeria into. Stabilize Nigeria. This is what Nigeria into. Look at the kids. Wait now, guys. You are not the one to dictate to us now. Guys, they are not good. Wait. They have school fees. They don't have any. What they say when they leave money at their account? These people we are just 90-something years. That's something that 6 days. Like 6 days. That's what the students say. My case is different than a child. What is
Hello.
Now, a video has emerged online of 5 boys who died after eating an alleged poisoned pepper soup in Auchi, Edo State. According to the information reaching our newsroom, the ex-girlfriend of one of the victims, who wanted to get back at him for ending their relationship, gave him pepper soup. Unfortunately, the other 4 friends joined in eating and all passed away. The suspect, identified simply as Peculiar, has been arrested. However, while digging deep into the case of the deaths, some residents of the area said the victims might have died as a result of smoke from a generator. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has rearrested Idris Okuneye, popularly known as Bobrisky, a controversial cross-dresser in Lagos. Bobrisky was detained by immigration officers at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport while attempting to board a KLM flight to London via Amsterdam. According to a senior EFCC official, Bobrisky's rearrest on Thursday night stemmed from his failure to respond to multiple EFCC invitations regarding allegations he made against the commission. The EFCC source explained that Bobrisky's claims involved bribery and corruption, with accusations that he paid 15 million naira to EFCC officials to dismiss money laundering charges against him. However, the EFCC has denied these allegations, suggesting that Bobrisky could face new charges for providing false information. Head of Media and Publicity at the EFCC, Dele Oyewale, confirmed Bobrisky's arrest but refrained from giving additional details. The National Human Rights Commission, in collaboration with the World Impact Development Foundation, has converged key stakeholders in the digital space on a one-day high-level stakeholders consultation to deliberate on strengthening digital rights-related issues in Nigeria. Clevy News' Imefonokon was there and tells us more.
With the theme, Digital Rights as Human Rights, shaping the Nigerian policy framework for the digital age, the representative of the Executive Secretary of National Human Rights Commission, Wadumdi Oko, and the Executive Director of World Impact Development Foundation, Kingsley Godwin, highlighted Nigeria's significant achievement in developing digital frameworks to govern the use and management of digital technologies, but however, decried the weak enforcement mechanisms of the existing laws and regulations which often are not effectively implemented. Hence, the need for a one-day high-level stakeholders consultation with key players in the digital space.
The current laws do not cover all aspects of digital rights, such as issues of surveillance and lawful interception, lack of awareness. Many Nigerians, like you all know, are unaware of their digital rights. Now, to address this comprehensive awareness campaign has necessary educating citizens about their rights and how to protect them. We also have issues of weak enforcement mechanisms. Now, while we have existing laws and regulations, these laws are not often effectively enforced. Strengthening enforcement mechanism and ensuring accountability is crucial.
This event has brought together civil society actors, representatives from government agencies, media activists, human rights activists to come together to discuss on the way forward on digital rights issues, especially digital rights policies and digital rights legislations in Nigeria. That is why we are gathered here today. At the end of this event, we expect that all the stakeholders seated here today would impute into a policy recommendation that will be used to engage the National Assembly.
Recall that Nigeria had earlier banned the use of X, formerly known as Twitter, from June 2021 to January 2022. Key stakeholders in the digital space said state surveillance, combating cybercrime, and censoring of fake news must not infringe upon the fundamental human rights of citizens.
While we know that digital age comes with a lot of benefits in the sense that it can revolutionize an economy and also create great and massive economic growth.
You cannot afford to place national security in the hands of non-indigenous. That is what it means. So the time we are using to clamp down on the civic space, target journalists, all that energy, we can use it to do something more useful, which is about indigenizing technology and creating systems, assessments that protect our country.
Digital rights gives us the ability for us to engage government as citizens, being the number one office holder in this country, the internet provides us that opportunity to be able to engage. And so government should make it important and make it a right for everyone to engage and to reach out to them.
Experts say protecting digital rights is essential to fostering an inclusive and equitable digital society for all. Imefono Okon reporting for Clever News.
If you are just joining us, you're watching the news on Clearview News Desk. We will be back after this break. Stay with us.
We break the news.
This is Christ Embassy.
Recollect, we were the first to break this. Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf of Kano State has approved the appointment of 3 second-class emirs. And this?
Erasmus is the most successful program of the European Union to support education and youth.
And this?
Fubara is not an ungrateful person.
And more.
Tension is currently mounting in Rivers State. The planned arraignment of Yaya Bello.
Across our platforms. Subscribe now and you will be receiving our notifications and never left out as the news breaks on Clearview.
Welcome back. The ancient tradition of writing a will before the final departure of an individual from the earth is back on the front burner in Nigeria. This is informed by the crisis that usually plays out between the relatives of the deceased over personal properties. In this report, Clearview's Imefono Okon sought the opinions of some Abuja residents on the relevance of writing a will before one passes on to the great beyond.
When someone is requested to write a will in Nigeria, there is always a misperception. In reality, the issue of writing a will does not indicate that death is imminent. It is only reasonable that one regulates his or her family's or loved one's affairs in order to avoid problems that may arise in the event of death. In Nigeria, writing a will is subject to 3 main laws: statutory laws, customary laws, and Islamic laws. Death comes unannounced. Usually, it is very painful to see the lifetime effort of someone getting cut away by those not deserving it. It is possible the legacy left behind is shattered if succession and inheritance plans are not well put in place. Therefore, the importance of writing a will cannot be overemphasized. Making a will displaces the rules of intestacy, satisfies the wishes of the testator, protects the children and provides for them willful guidance, reduces litigation and inheritance taxation. Writing will before someone's death, how does it help in dealing with the issue of inheritance?
The problem we are having is a polygamous family. When a man married 4 to 5 wives, the children is to their mother. You know, if there's no will, there is bound to be crisis in the family. But if you have one wife, and you know the kind of children you have, you may not necessarily have the will.
If death comes, because death is coming, whether small, big or old, death is coming. So the best thing is for one to write his will so that problem will not occur.
So me, I would advise every family and every father especially, you need to write that. As they're growing up, you need to start writing them one by one. So that when anything happens along the way, you know that yes, this belongs to your children. Nobody can come and claim it from anywhere anymore.
What happens where there is a will and the family members kick against its execution?
Most families who want to be mischievous always hide under certain rules of culture to frustrate the widow and the orphans. But in such a situation, it falls within the fundamental rights of the children of the deceased person or the widow in question to approach, legal practitioners for advice.
Anyone can benefit from a will. A testator deserves the right to gift his property to whoever he or she wishes after his or her death. So a relative, friend, acquaintance, or total stranger can benefit from a will if so properly named by the testator. Imefono Okon reporting for Clearview Television.
And that's the news. But before we go, a recap of the top stories. Major General Olufemi Olatubosun Oluyede has officially assumed duties as the Acting Chief of Army Staff following a formal takeover ceremony held earlier today at the Defense Headquarters in Abuja. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) has rearrested Idris Okuneye, popularly known as Bobrisky, while attempting to board a flight to London via Amsterdam. Some suspects charged with 10 counts of terrorism, an attempt to overthrow the government, and alleged mutiny over their participation in the nationwide protest brought before Justice Obiora Egwatu of the Federal High Court in Abuja by the Nigerian police for arraignment, fainted in court. You can follow up on latest events and happenings around you via our social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Clearview News Desk, or via our handle on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Clearview Online. Many thanks for joining us. I am Gloria Atta. Have a wonderful weekend.
We invite you to watch how we clear the views on all matters through our partner station MITV on DSTV channel 255, 7 p.m. daily, and also our YouTube and Facebook pages under one name, Clearview News Desk every day. We call it the People's News, as we are available to come over and cover your events upon notice. Or do you have news you want us to broadcast? Send it in. We verify and go to town with it. All for you. Go ahead, engage us to thrash out those naughty issues on the news. And what we need from you is to share and subscribe. More important, convince your loved ones, friends, relatives, co-worshippers, and more to subscribe so as to be getting notifications as we break the news. Go a step further, like the news, and drop your thoughts on the comment section. Clearview News. We clear the view one time and for all time.